Hello and welcome to Matchday live on LUTV with NordVPN. The Emirates Stadium, the destination for the team this evening, and with both teams winning their opening games 1-0, can the Whites shoot down the Gunners tonight? All the build-up and live commentary of Arsenal versus Leeds United is on the way.
How it feels to play for Leeds is...
I'd say emotional.
責任、誇り。
Enorme.
Oh my, it's tough.
Proud.
For me, amazing. That's it. Een gepassioneerde club.
So one club city, and everywhere you go, you're made aware of that, and that's a really proud thing to be a part of.
Radost. Being in Leeds, you can already feel it walking down the road.
Unique.
Can I take two? Famille traditionnelle.
Just excited for the journey this year.
Redo.
Let it begin.
It's hard to put into words how we actually feel. You get goosebumps every time.
Special, I'd say, yeah.
Home.
Electric,
Yeah, it's amazing. Every game.
I'll say Elland Road is probably the craziest stadium I've ever played at.
Historic.
I heard a lot of things about it, but I want to feel it on the pitch.
Just adrenaline.
And while the team are down south, myself and Jermaine Beckford are holding the fort here at Elland Road.
Yes, we are.
We're looking forward to this one today, Bex.
Absolutely. Look, Arsenal are a fantastic football inside. Scraped through a very difficult first game of the season, but they picked up the points, and they've got a super number 9 as well, so they'll be looking to cause us many, many problems. However, on the flip side, we completely dominated against Everton. I thought we were unfortunate to only get the 1 goal, albeit a little bit fortunate to come from a penalty situation. That being said, I'm looking forward to seeing how our new signings produce for us.
Well, we'll talk more about that in a moment, but how much confidence will the team have gained as a whole from that performance against Everton?
I think it was a perfect game for the boys to play. That mainly because Everton, in the first half especially, were so passive. They were not aggressive. They sat off. They didn't look like they had any idea as to what they were doing. So, you know, after the first 2, 3, 4 minutes into the game, we just built more and more pressure, more and more expectations, and the confidence, started to build far more. So when you look at it from that perspective, the jump up didn't seem so much. Obviously, we picked up the full 3 points. So the guys will be heading down to London full of confidence.
It does feel as though, Bex, though, the jump up again in this game is going to be more significant, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Look, we're talking about an Arsenal side that have finished second in the last 3 seasons, I think. Every team in the Premier League is going to be a difficult team. They're in the Premier League because they're the best. You know, this is the 20 best teams in England playing against each other. So there's not going to be any easy games. I quite like the games against the so-called bigger teams, because what that does is it gives you're the underdog. So the expectation is no longer on you.
The pressure's off.
The pressure's off. The pressure's on Arsenal now. So as long as every player performs to their best ability, they try their hardest, they're disciplined in the positions that they're in, the movement, momentum will start to build, and slowly but surely we will cause them 1 or 2 problems. It's just a matter of making sure we take the chances when they come. And that's the only little frustration that I have.
We need to make sure that we do that.
Yes.
Bex, do you think that Arsenal are title contenders this season?
Yes.
So we really do have a tough job on our hands
tonight,
don't we?
Yes, we do. Look, I think they're title contenders because they've got a fantastic number 9. And that's something they've missed over the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years even. Gyökeres is a phenomenal goal scorer, but he's also one of those players that needs a little bit of time to catch up with the pace and the tempo of the Premier League. So I'm glad we're playing Arsenal now. Hopefully it's the right time for us and not the right time for him.
I was going to ask you that. Is it better to play the bigger teams, the bigger clubs, earlier on in the season, do you think?
I think so. I think so, because you can catch them before they start to build any real momentum. Like you look at Spurs earlier on today against Man City, they beat them 2-0. If this is later on in the season, it could be anything. When Man City start to build a little bit of momentum, build that confidence within themselves, Haaland starts scoring as well, he's almost impossible to stop. Spurs did it with Tottenham. I don't see why we can't do it tonight with Arsenal.
I like that belief, Jermaine Beckford. What kind of game are you expecting tonight?
I'm expecting both sides to be extremely confident and quite aggressive with the ball. I don't think we're going to see either team sitting back, absorbing a lot of pressure. They'll be defensive when need be. I don't think either side will be silly trying to put pressure on the opposition team as quickly as possible for extended periods. But at the same time, when the time's right, sit back, absorb pressure. As soon as you win the ball back, that's when the game's going to come to life. And you look at the attacking players in both sides, quick, dynamic, technically gifted. It could go either way.
Let's talk about fingers crossed. Let's talk about team news. Unfortunately, Ethan Ampadu, of course, injured. We know that he's going to be out until at least the international break.
Yep.
Ilya Gruev comes in for him. That is the only change.
Yep.
How much of a blow is that, particularly in a game like this, to not have Ethan Ampadu?
Look, he's the captain for a reason. He leads by example. He's a tough tackler. We saw that against Everton, put in a couple of really, really well-timed, tough tackles, left a little bit on the opposition as well. He's the calming influence that you need when things are going, when the opposition get on top a little bit. But with Gruev coming in, he's one of those players I really enjoy watching because there's no frills. There's no excitement when he plays. He does things really, really simple. Sometimes he goes backwards a little bit too often. However, it's very rare that he gives the ball away. So when he's in there, he's going to win the ball back. Again, he doesn't mind a tough tackle. He's going to win the ball back and give it to the players that can be creative, that can make something happen out of nothing, to the quick players. So Ethan is a loss. He is a miss. But Gruev, I think will be fine. I think he'll be fine.
Our new signing as well, Noah Okafor, is on the bench. You're looking forward to potentially seeing him come on?
100%. I love attacking players.
What can he bring to this team?
The excitement. There's a lot of things that he does which are off the cuff, which make it almost impossible for defenders to read and understand what he's going to do. But at the same time, he's got a calmness about him as well. So when he picks the ball up, he's going to like to drive inside onto his stronger foot.
Well, here we are back at the Emirates. It's quite the venue still. It's not been a happy hunting ground for Leeds in recent seasons, though. Team news first, Tony. We knew there was going to be a change.
Yeah.
Gruev, big job for him today.
Certainly it's a big job. I mean, that's a job that he likes to do, just sitting in front of the back four, but losing Ethan is a huge loss. He was magnificent against Everton. We know the influence he has in the dressing room and on the pitch, so it's a blow, but Gruev will come in and I'm sure he'll do a good job.
Well, you mentioned the pitch. It looks absolutely immaculate here, doesn't it? I mean, fantastic condition.
Just incredible, it really is. No excuses. I don't see any bumps in that pitch whatsoever. So it's a great occasion, you know, back at a stadium like this as well. Our first away game, it's a huge game.
What do Leeds need to do today to make sure they get something out of this?
I think what's important is, in these sort of games, when you come away to a really strong side, is to stay in the game. Stay in the game for as long as you can. So you need to be obviously well organised, you need to have certainly a lot of spirit about you, but the opposition are going to have plenty of possession. So being in control out of possession is really important. But you still have to be a threat. It's not just sitting there and defending. You have to go and be a threat when you can.
It's not always a cauldron of noise, this place, is it? We've been here when it's been pretty quiet. Yeah. Is that a job that Leeds could do as well this evening?
It's always about seeing the first 15 minutes out, getting the crowd quiet. If they score early, you can imagine then what happens. So it's seeing those moments through. But at the same time, still playing our stuff. Daniel says we're not going to throw our philosophy out the window. We're going to still try and play and control things when we can. But those moments are going to be fewer. And so the other big moments of defending are important.
This is one of the big Premier League challenges for the first away game for Leeds, Arsenal.
Bex, we touched on it a little earlier, but how perfect a start was that win against Everton on Monday?
It was brilliant. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it is that it really calmed the nerves of the fans, of all the players, obviously the management as well, knowing that we're going to have 2 tricky games after this Everton game, but to pick up 3 points, the confidence that it's going to give us going into the next couple of games is major, it's massive. So now we've got a little bit more freedom going into the Arsenal game, and then followed closely by Newcastle. 2 very good sides. But when you've picked up a couple of points, the most important thing from there onwards is knowing that after these 2 games, you're still in a pretty good position. You know, our ultimate goal this season is to stay up. That's our first goal. 38, 40 points, roughly, is what we're aiming for, with 3 points closer. If we're able to pick up a point or 3 today, and the same again against Newcastle, a point or 3, that puts us in a really, really strong position closing in on the international break.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Bex, there was a lot of controversy around the penalty, whether it should have been a penalty or not.
Yeah.
But we did deserve that win, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Look, the penalty is one of those ones. Over the course of the season, Everton, obviously, they're going to feel aggrieved that the decision went against them, but they'll have other moments throughout the season where things will go their way, similar to us.
We'll have things that go against us, no doubt.
There will be moments where we're screaming, clear as day it's a foul, clear as day it's handball, whatever, and it may not go our way. So when you look at the overall standard of the match, possession-based opportunities that we had, we should have won this game 2-3, 4-0. But, you know, a victory is a victory.
We'll take 1-0, it's 3 points.
100%.
And Metcha, the coolest man on the planet as well, to take that penalty. How impressed have you been with him?
Very. Look, he came off the bench, he was only on the pitch for 5 minutes. I think that was his 3rd touch. So for him to make his home debut, 85th minute, penalty,
yeah,
and to slot it in as easily and as relaxed as he did, mate, what a guy. I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing what he can bring on a more permanent basis, starting games, etc. Maybe his match fitness isn't quite up there just yet. You know, we don't see what happens behind the scenes in the training ground, but that being said, we know when the ball drops to Joao Peru inside the 18-yard box, the guy is clinical. You know, so that's somewhere that a great competition behind the scenes will start to evolve.
Healthy competition.
Healthy competition. And then you throw Dominic Calvert-Lewin in there as well. I'm excited to see what it holds.
Which elements of that performance, Bex, do you think will have given the team the most confidence? What excited you the most about watching that game?
Obviously, the way we dominated possession, but more so, from my perspective, it's all about the chances that we created, the opportunities we created, the left and right attacking wing areas, for me, were fantastic, especially in the first half and especially on that left-hand side. Goodmanson, I'm a big fan of his, really big fan. I thought himself and Nonto did fabulous, really great work on the left-hand side, especially in the first half. Nonto would pick the ball up, tuck inside, and then he'd have the overlapping run. But they worked really well together. So when one of them went on the overlap, the other one tucked in, and vice versa. Still needs a little bit more work on the right-hand side. We're not far off, but those areas in particular really excited me.
Yeah, that'd be something that Daniel Farker's worked on as well, those other bits. Daniel also said, you know, the atmosphere here at Elland Road, it was rocking, and he noted how much that contributed to the performance.
Yep.
It's going to be so key, isn't it, to performances this season when we're at home?
Yeah, of course it is. Look, it doesn't surprise me that the atmosphere was fantastic here. It's Elland Road.
Yeah, but it was like next level good, wasn't it?
It was. But home form is vital in this league, especially for a newly promoted side. And when you have the atmosphere that we had out there, the way that the players were playing, and obviously the goal as well, you add all of those things in together, the most important thing for us is to pick up as many points as possible. As I mentioned before, 38, 40 points is the goal, is the aim. And if we're able to get that majority at home, then our away form is a lovely little bonus. And fingers crossed, if we're able to pick up on average a point a game away from home, on average, I think we'll be doing all right this season.
Fingers crossed indeed. Look, let's head back over to the Emirates and find out who Bryn Law is chatting to.
Well, Joel, great venue. Looking forward to the game?
Yes, very much. It's one of the games we're most excited about.
It's going to be one of the games that promises to be one of the hardest games as well, doesn't it? Such a good side, Arsenal.
Yes, definitely. We know they are one of the competitors every year for the title, so it's going to be a very tough game.
What sort of game is it going to be?
Well, you never know exactly what to expect from the opposition, but we will try to play our game as well, like how we used to do that the last game and the games before. But of course, they have quality as well, so at periods we will have to sit back.
Look, Bex, just over 10 minutes to go until kick-off. Yep. What is Daniel Farke's game plan tonight, do you think?
Well, I was listening to an interview he did, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, and he said, the one thing we're not going to do is sit back, allow Arsenal to dominate complete possession, because it's going to cause us so many problems, we won't be able to deal with it, and they'll end up beating us. So we're going to play the game we know how to play, we're going to be aggressive when we've got the opportunity to, we're going to be smart when we need to be.
It's going to be important to adapt that game plan at certain times, though, isn't it?
And that's exactly it. There will be times where we'll be able to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal. Not for large durations of the game, but we'll be able to do it for 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But in the right moments, the right times. When it's the wrong time, when it's not the right time to go toe-to-toe, we will sit back, we will absorb. And it's about when we win the ball, what do we do then? Can we get the ball out to the wide players? Can they cause a problem or two to Arsenal's fullbacks who, again, are going to be thinking the same thing? They would have analysed the Everton game and said, you know what, they're much better and much stronger than we thought they would be. You know, they don't look like one of the newly promoted Premier League sides. They look like a side that have been in the Premier League for a while. So we've got to treat them with respect, but also play the game that we know how to play. So
how wary will Arsenal be of this Leeds side, do you think?
They'll be wary. You know, it's not new for Arsenal to play against Leeds. Obviously, it was a few years ago since the two teams have met, but, you know, Arsenal was surprised the first time we came back to the Emirates and played against them a few years ago. So they won't take anything for granted. They'll take this as a serious game they need to win 3 points for, because they're going for titles, obviously. And we've seen with the players they've put in the squad as well, their starting 11. It's a very strong starting 11, especially their front three.
Look, they have got so much quality running throughout the entire squad, but where in particular tonight do you see the key battles being, Bex?
Our forwards against their goalkeeper. That's where I hope it is.
Fingers crossed.
Look, I think it's going to be in midfield. I think that's the area where it's very, very balanced on both sides. I think it's very similar quality on both sides. Technically, they may have a little bit more technical quality than we do, but where we slightly lack in technical quality, technical ability, I think we make up for in discipline, in work ethic and physicality. So I think that middle third of the pitch is going to be vital today.
How do we make sure that we get the better of them?
We need to score more than them.
Football
Very
basics
simple.
with Jermaine Beckford.
Yeah, look, we're going to get opportunities. They're going to get opportunities. We need to make sure that we are clinical with ours, but defensively really, really disciplined and solid as well. We need to make sure we don't give away any silly opportunities, any silly chances. And
will our players, almost like you said earlier, feel a bit of relief heading into a game like this because the pressure is not on them tonight?
No, not at all.
They won't feel relief?
No, because you're coming up against a phenomenal football side.
But is there not a level of excitement in that? And almost it's like you said, a free hit, that like there's no expectation, let's just go for it.
From fans, it's a free hit. For the players want to win every single game, want to win every single battle, every single match, every week, every month, every year. But they don't want to lose, so they go into every game as if it's their last game. Expectation-wise, the players are thinking, Arsenal are here to be beaten. And they would have watched videos and said, right, this is where we can catch them off guard. This is where we can catch them off guard. We've got to be cautious when they win the ball back and play the ball out wide, up top to their Madueke and to Saka. I think we need to stop the ball going out to those guys. Be a little bit more physical with Odegaard, especially, because once he gets in his rhythm, we have a little bit of a pickle.
Look, I'm going to put you on the spot, Bex.
16-0. No, I'm messing. I think it's going to be very tight. I would love to say we're going to beat them. I think it'll be 2 apiece, 2-2.
We'll take that.
2-2.
Like you said, it's a point away from home. Okay, well, look, kick-off is fast approaching, so let's get the thoughts of the boss, Daniel Farker.
Yes, first of all, we will see, so not one training session yet, so this afternoon he will be the first time involved, but yes, we spoke about that we want to bring some quality signings for our offense in, and Noah fits to this perfect age, has also played for two big clubs, obviously in Italy, before in his time for Red Bull Salzburg already on Champions League level. Player of high potential, he has more or less all the skills anyhow, and yes, we will also provide him with all the backing and also a good stage to find perhaps a bit more consistency in comparison to what he has done in the last couple of years. But if he uses his potential and is really focused and concentrated and with hard work, he has all the skills to make an important impact also on this level. And for that, we are all pretty delighted to have him with us from now on. Well, like what you mentioned, it's also not up to us that we are responsible for the highest for the highest spending. So we are ambitious. That's right, and I think we have done some good transfer business so far. But it's also not we are the biggest spender also in comparison to what perhaps some other clubs or some newly promoted clubs have done in the last years. It's not extraordinary what we have done. So we try to do it in a reasonable and sensible way. Yes, but of course, nowadays the clubs, in order to be competitive, have to spend. Yes, and of course Arsenal is one of the best clubs, not just in this country but also in Europe. They have the highest ambitions, the highest demands, want to be there and to play for each and every title that is possible.
Two teams appear, Leeds United and Arsenal, and it's been quite the welcome onto the playing surface. Arsenal absolutely going for it here with the full fireworks display, and the smell of cordite hangs heavy in the air, and the smoke drifts across the stadium and beyond here in this corner of North London. Two teams go through the usual pre-match Premier League rituals, and then we will have what promises to be one of the toughest tests ahead of the start of the season for Leeds. Arsenal away has to be right up there, given that you would fully expect Arsenal themselves will be right up there. Finished second in the Premier League last season, but they've invested very